Okay, my favorite tool right now is LinkedIn. If you're in the nonprofit world, which if you are listening to this show, I bet you are, LinkedIn for nonprofits is a game changer. Think free resources, exclusive discounts, tools designed just for you, all around hiring, donor outreach, building corporate partnership relationships, and building your dream community of supporters. And fun fact, 85% of nonprofit professionals say LinkedIn helps them reach their goals. So here's what I want you to do. Number one, follow me, Dana Snyder, on LinkedIn. I share monthly giving inspiration and nonprofit growth tips all the time. And follow LinkedIn for Nonprofits for the latest tools and strategies to grow your business page for your nonprofit and your personal account as well. Then head to nonprofit.linkedin.com to unlock your exclusive discounts and goodies. This podcast is proudly brought to you by LinkedIn for Nonprofits. Click the link in the show notes to learn more, and let's head into today's episode.
Somebody is wasting about 2 hours every single day because of inefficient systems. Now, if that person makes $25 an hour, that is $13,000 lost in labor costs. Or because you're uploading and downloading spreadsheets. That is $263,000 a year of money that you are losing because of donor attrition, bad donor retention, and inefficient systems.
I'm Dana Snyder, your host of the Missions to Movements podcast. And my path to philanthropy has been anything but traditional. This show is your weekly mastermind, designed to give you the ideas, insights, and support you need to push the boundaries of what's been done before in nonprofit marketing and fundraising. Whether you're looking to build a magnetic monthly giving program, elevate your personal brand, or create partnerships that amplify your impact, this space is for you. I'll bring you solo episodes and conversations with industry leaders, offering actionable strategies and fresh perspectives that will move you and your mission forward. Let's turn your mission into a movement. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Missions to Movements. This one is very long overdue. Rachel Bearbower has been working with me for years on different automations in my business and is a brilliant wizard. When you just meet somebody whose brain works differently than yours in the most magical way possible, and you're like, I need this so much, and I don't even need you to explain to me how it all works because it's just magic when you get the end result. That's Rachel. She's brilliant. You need a Rachel on your team, specifically this one. And Rachel has been known for her work as the founder, CEO of Small Shop Strategies, but more recently, the nonprofit automation agency. And when I tell you, she is literally going to blow your mind today in talking about automations, the mindset behind them, why it's so important, how much time it can save you, the personalization, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to dive into some specifics on how exactly she's helped me. If you have been someone that has attended a recent monthly giving summit, it will release a little bit of the behind the scenes of the magic of some correspondence you might have received. So with that, Rachel, welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, Dana, thank you. It's so good to be here. And yes, so overdue. So hello.
So overdue. Will you give a brief just intro to yourself and why the big switch into nonprofit automation agency?
Oh gosh, great question. Well, yeah. Hi, I'm like everyone else. I'm a fundraiser, a founder, I'm a farmer. So those are kind of like my things. And I really started out this whole kind of business journey teaching what I knew, which was how to be an executive director. And so have worked with executive directors and I was a small shop. So I really learned how to do everything myself and just figure stuff out. There wasn't always like a simple solution, but just kept trying to figure it out. And while I was working with small shops, and I love that side of things, the space that was really bringing me a lot of joy, and I saw like such a huge need. And it was kind of like the thing that like people would just start coming to me and be like, hey, how do I do this? Or how do I do this? And then I started being like, well, you could do all of this. And then they were hiring me to do like think through bigger automation and workflows and stuff like that. And I've always been a big proponent of, donor stewardship. And so it kind of evolved. It wasn't like on purpose. I wasn't like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It just kind of evolved. And I mean, I was laughing with somebody. I was like, honestly, like, because I'm kind of lazy. And I was like, I think
that adjective does not correlate.
It doesn't. But I'm like, well, there must be a better way to do that. And so then I just like the part of figuring out like, ooh, could I simplify this?
Yeah.
Great. That's how we are here.
And it's amazing. I'm so glad you are. Okay, just like break this down for somebody who might not even think of tasks that could be automated for them. What are some common tasks that take up a lot of our time that have the potential to be automated? Just to like bring us into the world of the things that you work through on a day-to-day basis.
Yes. So as I mentioned, like donor stewardship is like the big place where I live, but like automation can be, you probably already have a lot of automation like in your world that you don't even realize, but ways that we can bring it into our organizations are backing up. Like think about the tasks that you don't like to do or the tasks that you like fall behind on. For me, where it started was thank you notes. I felt this like immense pressure to send really heartfelt, personalized thank you notes. Good place to be. I was like, well, I'll do that after I do this thing. I'll do that later this week. Friday mornings are going to be when I do this. Anyone who has been in a small organization or big organization knows that you have just these constant fire drills or things that come up. And then all of a sudden it's been a month or it's been a week or a month or 6 months and you haven't written that thank you note. And I was like, okay, I have to figure out a better system, not because I don't care, but because like I just have so many other things going. Okay. Yeah. So it's thinking about what are the things that you're falling behind on, or what are the things that are taking up a ton of your time? Uploading and downloading spreadsheets.
Oh my gosh, I have an example literally today of this. So we are recording this right off of the heels of the second annual Monthly Giving Summit. And GiveButter was providing a scholarship for the next round of the Monthly Giving Mastermind, 5 $1,000 scholarships. And applications are still rolling in past the summit, although I had already created a Google spreadsheet. So in HubSpot is my forms, right, where they are populating. Google Sheets is where the list of all of them are so that we can review them collectively to pick the 5 winners. So me or anybody on the team manually going into HubSpot, manually uploading them into Google Sheets is a time suck. And I was realizing, I'm missing them. This isn't a full list because they keep coming in. I can see it in my email. So I just quickly, putting Rachel into my brain, I was like, I need to create a Zap. And so I went into Zapier, which we can talk a little bit more about what that is. Yes. And that allowed me to say, and it connects HubSpot, if someone fills out this form, then create a new row in this Google Sheet. Ta-da! And then now they are firing off automatically from HubSpot into Google Sheets. And I do not have to touch it one more time. And we don't have to miss any important applications and data that's coming through. So that's a real life example.
That's a perfect example of something of like, this was an issue. It was something that was like causing confusion or you were missing something. And it was very simple. And now you don't even have to have the mental labor, like thinking about, because we have all those things that are like running in the back of our heads.
Yeah.
Why don't we take that off? you know?
Yes.
And that's huge.
How do you think that, so when we realize all these tasks that are difficult, when do most organizations come to you? Like what realization is happening?
Oh, when things are a hot mess.
Okay. So not like, hey, we want to build this thing. It's usually like already in motion.
So many organizations, the conversation goes like, hey, yes, I can help you, but you need to promise me that you are not going to burn down all of the platforms that you have going right now until I can help you. I know you're ready to just throw everything out the window, but yeah. So it's usually at a place with extreme frustration. And I get it. You're dealing with a lot of tech. There's a lot of language that you might not understand. You just know that you're not able to serve the people that you want to serve well because you are having to deal with all of this inefficiency. And you know it's inefficient, but you don't necessarily know how to fix it. So that's usually when people are coming, or they know they're losing time and efficiency with their systems, or they know that automation could help them.
Yeah.
But they just don't know how or what or like where to start, which is, again, fair, where I come in.
Yes. Okay. So I want to give some like a real life example of how all this breaks down, and then some advice you have on how organizations can maybe overcome any hesitancies to invest in automations and putting those things into practice. And I'm a very visual learner, so I hope audibly I can do this justice. Big news right now through April 30th, LinkedIn is giving away 6 months free of Sales Navigator Core to the first 2,000 eligible nonprofit professionals around the world. If you want to apply, click the link in the show notes. You can also learn more at nonprofit.linkedin.com. And why does this matter? Because fundraising is the livelihood of nonprofit work, and connecting with the right donors, sponsors, and supporters is key. So with over 1 billion members on LinkedIn, connections are happening, and people on LinkedIn are more likely to donate to nonprofit organizations than the average internet user. So roles like Director of Development and Grants Consultant are on LinkedIn's 2025 Jobs on the Rise list. That is proof that fundraising and sustaining your missions are more essential than ever. LinkedIn for Nonprofits offers free tools, discounts, and a resource hub to help you raise awareness, grow support, and amplify your mission. So do not miss out. Go to nonprofit.linkedin.com/SNC giveaway, or just click the link in the show notes to claim your free 6-month subscription and start turning connections into contributions. For the first monthly giving summit, I will just explain. So this was last September for everyone listening. I had multiple platforms involved. Ring Central was my production platform. That's where the event was hosted. If you have attended, that's where you were chatting. It was a system called Ring Central. That's where all the visuals, the chat, the networking, the expo rooms, everything. Then at that time, I used Thrivecart as my actual registration because we had a VIP ticket. We had a free ticket and VIP. And at that time, I did not own Ring Central. I was working with Neon One to use a license. So for us to have to manage the financials, it was easier to have it on my owned platform. So Ring Central, Thrivecart, add in Flowdesk, which is my amazing email platform, another separate entity. And then we also needed to have custom information coming from Thrivecart. Like when I asked if you were there, I asked about your favorite pizza toppings. I asked you how many
pineapple and mushroom. Thank you.
Yeah. I asked a couple of questions to get to know you better. So there was 4 platforms: Ring Central, Thrivecart, Flowdesk, Google Sheets.
There's one more.
There was another one. Letter Labs.
Slack. Oh, yeah.
And Slack.
And Slack. Yeah.
Okay, and Slack. Letter Labs was where I sent out talking about thank you cards. That was our partner on sending out automatic, not just thank you cards, but you're welcome to the event. As soon as somebody registered, there was a 1-week out correspondence that went out as direct mail. And then there was a thank you that went out like a week or 2 after. Okay. All of those platforms needed to talk to each other. I'm not going to go through the complications of that, but all I want to say is equal Rachel. And she created this magical flow chart of how I basically explained to her from a business standpoint what I needed all of these things to do, the timing of when they needed to fire, the information I needed access to. And she's like, got you. Basically, and you need that in your life because there's I could not figure that out. Or maybe I could have, but it would have taken me forever. Something would have broken. I would have been frustrated. And then again, is that really the best use of my time? No. So I want to give that one example. Then this past year, I massively simplified the platforms.
You did.
So now Ring Central, we have a license to, we did the registration in there. But this year we did a really cool partnership where if you attended in the registration, you were asked a question. It was like, bonus, I will give you an introduction to a platform of mine that if you were looking for a better solution for your monthly giving program, answer these questions. So it was either like, yes, I would like this introduction. And then you had a secondary question, which was based on your online revenue. Based on your answer, Rachel had helped me craft these customized emails based on the answers of why you were attending the summit and like the problems, challenges you were up against and what you wanted to learn, all coming from the registration. And you either were introduced to Give Butter or Fundraise Up based on your answers. And then those emails got drafted into my info at inbox, separated for those for Give Butter, those for Fundraise Up. And I will tell you, I manually went through and looked at the websites to make sure that you did not already use, that's the one manual thing about this, that you did not already use that platform. Or if you did, I was like, why don't you like this platform anymore? And sent out those emails. And there's a configuration in between of how that happened, but it was pretty seamless and magical and was able to be done in a mass way because with 4,700 registrants, there was no way I could manually go individually through, but it was a way utilizing data that I was asking for, was able to customize an answer and provide personalization. So that's a long explanation, but if you were on the receiving end of that, I hope and our intention was that it felt personalized to you. Like your name was in that email multiple times. It was drafted in a very like in my voice way.
Yep.
It was with the answers that you provided. We even had the amount that you listed in your answer, right? It was all designed to help expedite and automate a process at a personal level. And so, Rachel, that did I miss anything first off?
No, I'm like very impressed. You explained it so well. Like that was brilliant. Well done.
Thank you. Those are two examples in an event perspective. Do you have another one that can maybe lend a different view for like a nonprofit you've worked through, maybe on a stewardship basis or something?
Yeah, no, I think that, what we did with both years, you are saying Ring Central and you're saying Thrivecart. Well, those are platforms that like you're using as a business, but as a nonprofit, that's your CRM, right? And that's your online giving platform. So all of this is very translatable. So what you just explained, customizing an email to a donor based on their gift or like setting them through like a journey based on okay. So when I work with clients, I typically set up 5 workflows. One of the workflows is asking for a second gift. And I had an organization that their like gift range was huge. So it was like a $25 gift and then like a $20,000 and then like a $5,000. Like and they had donors
range.
Kind of like at each of those levels, but like not a lot in between. And so what we did, which I thought was really fun, is so we wrote our emails and then we had a different like ending of like, okay, for the $20,000 one, it was like, hey, I'd love to schedule a call with you because you're not going to ask for $20,000 in an email. Same for the $5,000. So 3 different versions of kind of the same email. And then what I did is I segmented the audience, and this is in their email marketing platform. I segmented the audience based on their total giving and used custom fields. One thing to just kind of go back, when you are doing this kind of thing, you have to think in like you can't make everything absolutely like customized or like it's going to turn into something that's like unmanageable. So you have to think of like different data sets that you can use to kind of be like, okay, here are these versions. So when I say that I segmented them, I came up with a couple of groups of like total giving under $300, total giving under between this and this, and total giving. So there was like 4 or 5 different like
buckets to pick
segments,
from. Yeah.
buckets. Yeah. So then I took their total giving from their CRM, which was Bloomerang, and put that as a custom field. So then when that donor went through that workflow, it then said, oh, because of this custom field, they're going to get this email with this offer that matches their specific needs. And so it's things like that was like, okay, I need to solve for this organization that has like a pretty wide range of donors that they want to touch base with. And it doesn't make sense for a $20,000 donor to be asked for $25.
Right, of course.
So we had to solve for that.
Right.
So, I mean, that was a little complicated to explain, but like, that's a very real thing that an organization is going to have to think about. And in your case, we all want to make sure that the information that we're sending, an email that we're sending is personalized, is like, feels like it comes from you. And automation can feel like, I think people think sometimes like, ooh, that's very robotic. And I can tell that like.
But even like internal things. So I'll give another example of automations that I'm working through in my business is automations of this podcast. So
yes,
I am a small team, and through HubSpot, Zapier, Airtable, like I think there's maybe 4 platforms that all in we use for the show. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe there's 5. And some of it will remain a little bit manual, like me hitting obviously record on this and
right.
Yeah. But the pre-side of moving people through the process of their guest application comes in through my website, how that gets moved through a flow, how the questions doc gets created, how they get sent a form to sign off as being all of that by doing a quick like trigger push to say like approved, pushes them through a process when it's been set up. So what I think is so vitally important, especially for small and large teams, no matter upon your staff, is this setting up automations is an investment that once you can have a foundation set up and it is rocking and rolling until you need a new one, it's investing in the infrastructure of what you do and allowing you to do the things that you should be focused your time on, the things that cannot be automated.
Yeah.
Like you being out in the community, you speaking at an event, you sharing your story, you going out and meeting with a corporate partner. But all the other things, most of the time, we can put some sort of level of automation on. So sometimes you're just about to lean into this. Nonprofit leaders, anybody might think that automations can feel robotic or impersonal. And I think we kind of explained a little bit about this in my email for the monthly giving summit, but how do you work with organizations on overcoming that thought? And then the things that in practicality that you utilize to make it not feel that way?
Okay, a couple of things. I think it's like breaking it down, right? So number one, you got to keep it simple. I mean, you can automate like so many things. I can hear my Roomba going up in my bedroom right now that I schedule to go off. Okay, that's automation. So there's like little tiny things that you can automate all over the place. But what I like to, like when I'm working with organizations, I really like to, like, let's keep it simple. So I focus on the first 100 days of a donor's journey. And by doing that, once you have that, then you can expand. Like, let's start
I love that.
small. So 100 days for your monthly giving community. I did a package where it's a year of touch points for monthly donors. Okay. So thinking just like, okay, what's like one problem I can solve? Then you break down so you've got it simple. It's going to be simple. You're building the foundation, you're figuring out your tech, you're making sure everything's connected. And then you're thinking about like what's actually going out to, if you're automating personalized communication, making sure that you're not like writing in, throwing in ChatGPT, like write me a thank you note. No, like how would you write a thank you note? Take one of the thank you notes that you have written and where you put the first name and where you put something else personalized, leave those open, like think about how you can insert those data
Right.
points, but like use your own voice. And so that's something it's really important to me to feel personalized and to make that feel authentic to the organization, because otherwise, like, yeah, then it just
Right.
feels spammy.
And I don't want to gloss over what you just touched on, where you're like, oh, for the monthly giving summit for those people, I created this whole year of touch points. And then you're like, and I moved on. Hold on. Let's go back to that real quick. Can you share like 2 examples of the things that you're talking about? So a year long of touch points for monthly donor. What are an example of like 2 automations? And I will link, by the way, to what she's talking about in the show. If you've been feeling like your monthly giving program could use a little extra love, there's a couple of ways I would love to help you out. Whether you're looking for some one-on-one attention or want to be part of a supportive community, I've got you covered. So here's the deal. If you feel like you need a solid game plan, one that's tailored to your organization, I'd love to spend 1.5 days with you in a VIP intensive. We'll roll up our sleeves together, dive into everything from creating a compelling monthly giving program name if you need it, to crafting a retention strategy, acquisition that really connects with your donors. It's all about being alongside you in what you need in that moment, optimizing your donation experience, new copy on your website page. We dive into the nitty gritty. And one recent client said that it was the best investment they ever made in a transformative experience, which I was so grateful to hear. If you're someone who thrives off bouncing ideas off of others, then the Sustainers Slack group is where you should be. It's basically like a virtual co-working space for nonprofit professionals where you can get real-time feedback. I have monthly experts that come in and just be supported by peers who get it. We are talking about nothing besides monthly giving in there. There's a ton of useful resources to help you grow your recurring giving program without feeling like you're doing it on your own. So whether you're looking for that deep dive into strategy and execution together, or you'd love just to connect with others that are deep into the trenches, I would love to help you work on your monthly giving program this year. So click the link in the show notes for either of those opportunities, or head to positiveequation.com.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of simple ones. So one, sometimes you just need the reminder of like, that's what a donor needs. And donors are coming into they're signing up as monthly donors at different times. So it's coming up. What does a year look like as a monthly donor? So month 1, they get an email from the executive director, welcome. That's automated. It's a draft email sent to the executive director's inbox. The next one is a phone call from a board member. Okay, well, board member needs to know we love our board members, but like they're not that proactive all the time. So we send an automated email that says, hey, Dana has been a monthly giver for 2 months. Can you give her a call? Here's her number.
Automatically sent.
Great. Then month 3 is we're going to send them a handwritten thank you note. Well, there's some really awesome platforms that you can send handwritten notes. They are actually handwritten. Send that out. So it's really determining, okay, what are these touch points that you want? And then sometimes it's reminders, but it's reminders with the exact information to the board member to do that. So it makes it frictionless for everyone involved. So those are just a couple of examples. Like, I mean, you can get as creative as you want.
But it's basically like setting up that trigger cycle so that you're not having to constantly be the one thinking about it all the time. We're coming to like the end of our conversation. What would be an idea right now if a nonprofit could automate one process to free up their time? What would it be today and why?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, okay. I made a math problem. And I know this is like a very like detailed thing, but do we have time to share it? I'll go fast.
Go for it.
Okay. I did it. I even wrote it down because I was like, I don't want to mess this up. Anyway. Okay. So we both know that like donor retention is a thing that organizations are struggling with. And so I want to give this example that just exemplifies like why automation can be so powerful. So if you are an organization that raises $500,000 a year. Now, I'm going to use incorrect information because I'm trying to make the math easy
Of course,
here.
yes.
So you raise $500,000 fundraising, okay? You have a retention rate of 50%. That means you keep $250,000 a year, approximately, and you lose $250,000 a year because of donor attrition, right? Now, let's talk about your staff real quick. So you, on average, somebody is wasting about 2 hours every single day because of inefficient systems. Okay. That means that that's like 520 hours a year on inefficient systems. Okay. Now, if that person makes $25 an hour, that is $13,000 lost in labor costs, or because you're uploading and downloading spreadsheets.
Right.
That is $263,000 a year of money that you are losing. Here's where it hurts my heart. It is $22,000 every single month because of donor attrition, bad donor retention, and inefficient systems. And so by investing $30,000, $50,000, whatever it is, sometimes it's a lot of money to invest in your systems. But for every dollar that you're investing, if it's 50,000, you're getting back $5. So I don't know about you, but when I was a small nonprofit, I didn't have $22,000 to lose. That is so much money.
Yeah. But it sneaks up on you because it's not automatic like that, and not looking at it in a full picture context like that usually until maybe you get around to the end of the year budget
and
season.
You're like, oh my gosh, where did why aren't we raising as much? Because you have all these donors that didn't give again.
Right.
And so in answer to your question of what's the one automation, I'll just give my favorite automation, which is called the 1 minute thank you. I dubbed it the 1 minute thank you. And it's basically taking the, whatever your online fundraising platform is or your CRM, and you connect a Zap that sends a draft email to your inbox, to executive director, development director, with a very personal email. So copy that email that you would write to a donor that just says, thank you so much. And it lands as a draft in your inbox. And so you can change it to be personalized, whatever, but it quickly gets something out to the donor so that they know that their gift was received.
Yes.
That you're doing what you said you're going to do, and just making them feel good. Oh my gosh, I just got an email from a real person. It's coming straight from your inbox.
And what I would say is your inbox as in your Outlook, your Gmail.
Yeah.
Use. Yeah.
Yeah. And
amazing.
That's a very techie thing, but it can make a difference.
And Zapier, just for those of you who are wait, what are you guys talking about? It's a connector tool that essentially most platforms out there connect with these days, I would say. It's rare if they don't. I'm not going to get into the complexities of if it doesn't, there are ways to work around that too. But Zapier is probably the most common. It's really reasonable. They start with a free plan, and then it's based on how many Zaps you send. So you can go up or down. I scale mine. So for the summit, it's obviously going to go up, go way higher. And then now I just bumped it back down again. So it can ebb and flow with you too, as you have certain campaigns or moments going on. But I would say highly, highly, highly recommend schedule a call with Rachel, explain what it is that you're currently doing, where you think time is lost, where missed opportunities are happening. It could be in places that you don't even see right now. I just cannot overexpress the value of something like this because the other side feels it. The amount of response. I got a personal card sent to me last year because of my outreach to a nonprofit that I had never met. A card back. I received, anytime I've done on calls with organizations, they still have the physical card that I sent them that was sent through the automation. They're like, I love this. Or it's the emails that are sent out that they're so grateful of. And it's because there is thought and intention behind the automation. You're just making it easier for yourself for it to all be possible so that the thoughtfulness is expressed. And here's my thing, it's better for the thoughtfulness to happen in an automation than not at all.
Completely agree.
Because it's your intention and your heart behind it. And the automations can have your branding and your personality and all of that impact into it. So anyways, I digress. Rachel, is there any resource that you want to direct them to, and how can they get in contact with you directly?
Yeah. I mean, if you are like an automation newbie and you're like, oh my gosh, this call sounded cool, but like, wow, this kind of went over my head. I have two things. I have an ebook that you can download. It's on my website, and I'll make sure Dana has it for the show notes. And then I also turned that ebook into an email course. It's kind of fun. I help you create like some little emails and stuff that you can use.
Awesome.
I go through those 5 automations that I use.
Perfect.
So it's free. Go grab it. Go have fun. Schedule a demo with me. But if you can't work with me, I get it. And I don't want you to feel stuck. So, I mean, the ebook it's a lot of good information, because go figure it out. And if you are nervous, like Google that shit. Like,
yeah,
I've learned so much from Google and YouTube, and
it's possible.
You just keep trying.
It's possible. Rachel, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for everything you do. Rooting you on, girl.
I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you're doing. And we're so lucky to be in this community and do the work that we do. So
yeah, we are.
Yeah. Thank you.
Agreed. Thanks, Rach. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Missions to Movements. If you enjoyed our conversation and found it helpful, I would love for you to take a moment to leave a review wherever you're listening. Your feedback helps us reach more change makers like you and continue bringing impactful stories and strategies to the show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too, so you'll never miss an episode. And until next time, keep turning your mission into a movement.